In 2025, the Vikings will unveil an offensive weapon that few teams will be able to contain. McCarthy is not just the new quarterback. He is the central piece of a tactical evolution designed to maximize the connection with T.J. Hockenson. The numbers do not lie. In just 11 games in 2024, Hockenson converted 37 first downs, showing why he will be vital for McCarthy's development. What makes this duo so special when compared to other QBT connections in the NFL? Discover how McCarthy and Hockenson perfectly complement each other in progressions, red zone, and critical third downs elements that could transform Minnesota into a legitimate Super Bowl contender. When observing the offensive future of the Minnesota Vikings for 2025, the connection between McCarthy and Hockenson emerges as the central axis of a tactical evolution that transcends the simple quarterback change. When looking at the offensive future of the Minnesota Vikings for 2025, the connection between J.J. McCarthy and T.J. Hockenson emerges as the central axis of a tactical evolution that goes beyond a simple quarterback change. The system designed by Kevin O'Connell does not merely aim to replace Sam Darnold with McCarthy, it seeks to expand operational horizons through a technical partnership between a quarterback with high cognitive potential and a tight end who redefines positional versatility. Hockenson, with his 1.96 meters frame balance between athletic lightness and functional strength, represents not just a reliable target, but a tactical multiplier that amplifies the effectiveness of the system. His presence transforms every offensive formation into a defensive unknown, forcing opposing coordinators to rethink coverages and matchups. When we align his situational intelligence with McCarthy's mental processing, what emerges is not just a quarterback-receiver connection, but a tactical symbiosis capable of sustaining a complete offensive identity. The Vikings system in 2024 evolved into a model that values structural consistency over occasional bursts, with the tight end serving as a functional link between offensive layers. McCarthy, in turn, fits perfectly into this philosophy. A tactical operator who thrives within the structure with quick arms, controlled mobility, and functional mechanics. His ability to play as a rhythm passer, emphasizing progressions and timing, finds direct correspondence in Hockenson's mature football IQ and his skill in adjusting routes in real time as coverages unfold. Hockenson's tape reveals an athlete with a rare catch radius that expands the quarterback's confidence windows at any level of the field. His releases are technically varied, using leverage and defender reading to create separation in the first steps of the route. This ability to quickly create space will be vital for McCarthy, especially during his adaptation process to professional play. Young quarterbacks need targets that create clear throwing windows, and Hockenson offers exactly that: timing, reliability, and spatial intelligence. In the red zone, where the compressed field demands surgical precision, this partnership gains even more value. Hockenson operates in these critical zones with impressive naturalness, manipulating routes with subtle hesitations and sudden changes of direction. McCarthy, in turn, has demonstrated since college high efficiency under pressure, 13 touchdowns against only 4 interceptions when forced out of structure. This combination promises to transform offensive efficiency in scoring situations, an area where the Vikings need to improve to become true Super Bowl contenders. What makes this partnership especially promising for 2025 is the cognitive complementarity. McCarthy displays pre-snap maturity rare for a young quarterback, with the ability to use hard counts, blitz recognition, and adjustments based on safety rotations. Hockenson, as the technical extension of the quarterback on the field, demonstrates instant coverage reading of man or zone, revealing himself as a tactical anchor for scramble drill situations or spontaneous adjustments. Together, they raise the collective IQ of the offensive unit. The evolution of McCarthy as a starter in 2025 will depend not only on protection or his own technical development, but also on the creation of a sustainable tactical environment. This is where Hockenson's contribution to the running game, often underestimated, becomes strategically crucial. He does not block out of obligation, but with the same technical intensity he applies to receptions. Whether as an inline blocker or an H-back in motion, his willingness to seek contact, maintain pad level, and place hands with precision makes him a versatile piece for any run concept, inside zone, gap, or stretch. This anchoring in the running game will allow McCarthy to operate in a system where play action and coverage manipulation form the core of the offensive philosophy. By creating hesitation in linebackers and safeties through conflicting reads, this structure generates cleaner windows for McCarthy to process progressions without cognitive overload. With Hockenson selling the block before entering his route, the tactical disguise gains additional layers of complexity for the defense to decipher. The transition from Darnold to McCarthy represents more than a generational shift. It is a strategically projected evolution of profile. While Darnold delivered an efficient season in 2024, 35 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards, McCarthy brings operational elasticity that expands the limits of the system. He does not improvise out of desperation, but by design. His ability to reset his base, keep his eyes on the field, and deliver with precision even outside the pocket reveals a real-time tactical processor. This elasticity perfectly complements Hockenson's positional versatility. His ability to line up as a slot, inline, wide, or in constant motion allows the system to exploit mismatches without drastic changes to the playbook. When McCarthy extends plays, Hockenson demonstrates intelligence to find empty zones, adjusting routes and presenting himself as a safe target. This synchronization represents exactly the type of safety valve young quarterbacks need to develop confidence. Hockenson's statistics in 2024, even limited by his injury recovery, point to his structural value. In just 11 games, he accumulated 71 receptions for 734 yards and 5 touchdowns, an average of 6.5 receptions and 66.7 yards per game. More significant than the volume, his 37 first down conversions reaffirm his role as a chain-moving facilitator, especially on third downs and intermediate progressions. Projecting this production into 2025 with McCarthy at the helm, it is expected that this efficiency will not only be maintained but amplified. Tight ends with high football IQ provide stability in pressure moments, serving as a safe option in quick progressions and a functional extension of the offensive line, exactly the kind of support that can accelerate the development of a young quarterback. The Viking system values the disciplined execution of zone run concepts, not only to generate yards, but to establish clock control and create opportunities for manipulation with play action. With a revamped interior offensive line offering greater horizontal movement capability and sustainability in combo blocks, McCarthy will have space and time to operate without the constant internal collapse that previously limited the system. In this environment, concepts like dagger, flood, and Yankee, which demand patience and vertical progression, take on a new dimension with a quarterback capable of extending plays without abandoning structure. McCarthy demonstrates comfort in deep play action, both under center and in shotgun formations, hiding the handoff efficiently and quickly adjusting his feet to deliver accurate throws on crossing routes. Fundamental elements in an offense that uses the run-pass marriage as an active way to manipulate defensive structures. Hockenson's ability to execute a diversified route tree harmonizes perfectly with this profile. From basic routes like outs, corners, and drags to more elaborate concepts like snags and wheels with spatial manipulation, he provides McCarthy with a technically precise target at multiple levels of the field. His post-catch ability reveals surprising explosiveness for his size. Not pure linear speed, but functional acceleration and controlled changes of direction that turn expected yards into unexpected gains. This tactical complementarity creates a virtuous cycle. Defenses that attempt to contain Hockenson in the middle of the field open space for McCarthy to exploit outside targets, while coverages that rotate to protect the sidelines leave the tight end with favorable matchups against linebackers and safeties. The presence of both forces defensive coordinators to choose their poison, a tactical dilemma that defines elite offenses in the modern NFL. The value of this partnership amplifies in high-pressure situations. In the red zone, where windows tighten and timing defines efficiency, the combination of McCarthy's precision in tight spaces and Hockenson's situational intelligence to find soft spots promises to transform a traditionally challenging area into a strength. On third downs, the tight end's ability to become a reliable anchor in the middle of the field offers the quarterback a safety valve when coverages close down the sidelines. Looking ahead to 2025, the success of the Vikings will depend less on the individual production of these pieces and more on how their synergy elevates the collective functioning of the system. McCarthy won't need to be a hero on every snap. He can be a facilitator of a scheme that generates structural advantages as long as he maintains consistency and mental control. Hockenson, in turn, will be more than just a receiver, acting as a catalyst who transforms execution into strategic advantage. This systemic evolution positions Minnesota as a potential surprise in the conference. By building an offensive identity that values rhythm, manipulation, and disciplined execution, the Vikings find in the McCarthy-Hockenson duo the perfect axis to translate philosophy into production. Together, they not only execute the system, but expand it, redefining what it means to play within the structure for an emerging generation of talent in Minnesota. The most interesting aspect of this projection is how it maintains coherence with what O'Connell has been building since his arrival, a system that prioritizes efficiency over spectacle, process over immediate results. When we analyze McCarthy's profile in college, we see a quarterback who operated with maximum efficiency precisely when integrated into a game plan that valued concepts similar to those of the Vikings: manipulation through motion, structured progressions, and the ability to adjust post-snap without abandoning the structure. His maturity in shotgun formation and ability to exploit the middle of the field with precision timing directly aligns with what Hockenson offers. Not just as a safety valve, but as a chess piece capable of attracting and manipulating coverages. This quarterback-tight end relationship represents the philosophical core of what O'Connell seeks: structural predictability that generates tactical unpredictability. What makes this projection for 2025 even more promising is how the McCarthy-Hockenson integration addresses fundamental issues that limited the Vikings in previous seasons. Hockenson's coverage reading against intermediate zones, especially against Tampa 2 and Cover 4 match, provides a direct solution for defenses that have traditionally troubled quarterbacks in the North Division. His ability to find soft spots and adjust route depth based on defensive density gives McCarthy high percentage options when his primary progressions are eliminated. This aspect becomes especially relevant in situations where the young quarterback's mental and physical clock is under pressure. The level of technical synchronization required to execute concepts like sail, Mills, and dagger, all frequent in O'Connell's playbook, depends precisely on this shared understanding of space and timing. When we talk about third downs between 4 to 7 yards, an area where statistics show the Vikings struggled in 2024, converting only 37% of these situations, McCarthy's precision in tight windows combined with Hockenson's ability to use his body to create separation represents a direct gain in situational efficiency. It's not just about completing passes, but converting critical opportunities that define outcomes in close games. The question that remains for you, the fans. Considering this new offensive dynamic centered on the McCarthy-Hockenson connection, which complementary adjustment would be most impactful to maximize this potential in 2025? A vertical speed receiver to stretch the field, a running back with greater receiving ability out of the backfield, or a veteran center who can take on part of the protection responsibilities? Leave your comment below analyzing how each option could further elevate the ceiling of this offense. Thank you for watching, and go Vikings!